What's happening, guys? How we doing? It's only took us fucking 4 days to get this podcast recorded. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, everything's went wrong. We've lost a Corbett in between. A World Cup break's done us really well, but aye, how we doing?
Shite. What a week to come back. Obviously, I've not been on the video for a couple of weeks now, and to log into this and find out you're hosting it, I was like, oh, fuck my life. Here we go. Right. All joking aside, I'm good, mate.
Good. Kev, how are you?
I'm just getting over the end period of bronchitis, so I was dying a slow and painful death last week. Then I watched some international football, properly died after that, but was then glad to be back at Tynecastle on Saturday to see the famous collect 3 points. And heard that Corbett was the on the night. Everything's looking rosy.
That's harsh, man. It's harsh.
It is. It is.
Bronchitis was one of the players we signed for Kane, I say, wasn't it?
Fucking hell. That's absolutely terrible.
It started.
You're not even a dad yet, and you're making shit dad jokes like that. I was expect that out of Brad's or Corbett, but no, you. That's terrible.
A dad yet? Is there news, Tom?
No.
Oh, okay.
You have to get your hoe to do that, but
there we go. Show name within the first 5 minutes of the actual pod.
Fucking hell, man. Move swiftly on. I was going to say, see when Corbett's not on this, it does all go to shit, doesn't it? But fuck it, it'll be a good laugh.
There might be a factor in that, and it's probably me, so let's move on.
That's definitely you. 100% it's you.
I agree. All right, Kev, I can't mind what you call it, but let's do your wee gadget game.
Wee 4-1. Yeah, no problems at all. So just because we have had a break, just give a little bit of a run through. I'll give 4 clues to either existing or ex-Hearts player. It's up to you how to guess. There we go. Dying. The likelihood is that the two guys on this one are usually shite at it. So from that point of view, we might struggle tonight. Let's see how it goes.
Usually, I've never been anything other than 100% shite at this. And I'm going to type them down as we're going here, so that'll give me half a chance so I can refer back to it. So fucking do your worst.
Right. Okay, I will try my best. So first one on tonight, we've got Maple Leaf, FC Cologne, 24 goals and a looping header. So Maple Leaf, FC Cologne, 24 goals and looping header. That's your first one. You've got that one. Good. Feel like I've given it to you and you've got it sorted.
I think so.
Me too, mate.
They slightly worried about that one, Tom. The second one is successful ? Stranraer hat-trick, Viking, and £1 million. Please note the emphasis on the way I said £1 million. So that's your 2 for tonight. We'll give you the answers at the end.
Roger that. Right.
Excellent. That needs chucked in the bin, that feature, Kev. I need you to think of something new. That's me decided.
Who made you the fucking boss? Like,
I've got my big pats on.
I need you to think of something better. Aye, all right then. What are you bringing to the table?
Good looks and power.
Oh, fucking hell, man. Right, okay, fine. Carry on.
Cool. We'll go through some headlines. So obviously, last week, was it? Something like that.
Friday last week.
Corbett's best mate, Ando's best mate, Liam Boyce, signed a 1-year extension. For me, happy, very happy. What about you boys?
Delighted, if I'm honest. I think I know, and the missus has already ripped the piss out of me for this. When I told her over tea the other night, obviously she couldn't give a flying fuck in a high wind about the contract extension, but I was buzzing about it. And she's like, "Is that not the guy who used to rip the piss out of you?" I was like, "No, never used to do that. I just never seen it when he first started." Obviously, I set him that challenge, which is well documented, and then he went and just made an absolute fucking mug of me. And since then, I've seen nothing but gold for the boy. I think sometimes maybe been played slightly out of position. We know that, but he's always contributed even when he's been in that role. And I think he's one of the cornerstones of our team. So I'm absolutely delighted to have him until the end of 2024.
Absolutely. Kev?
Can't disagree with that, Ando. I think you're right in what you say. I think we brought him in the way back. What was that? 2019. We brought him in with a challenge or the plan of scoring goals for us. In fact, no, was it 2019, 2020?
Doesn't matter, Kev. He's been here a while.
Who cares? He has. He came in to score goals, and then all of a sudden, we started to play football in a different way under Nielsen. But it's been evident in regards to the fact of what he brought to the team. If we think back to when he went out injured, was the game against St Johnstone. We lost both Boyce and Rowles, and then we lost our way a little bit in regards to the way in which we played because we had nobody to fill that position that Boyce actually played. And I think what also had happened there was people got off Boyce's back because they started to realise what he brought to the team. Even though he wasn't scoring goals, it was the off the ball running, the channels, that kind of stuff that he does that is probably sometimes unnoticed, was definitely missing for the way in which the team played. So yeah, happy to see him extend that for an extra 12 months to the end of 2024, and who knows, might be even further than that.
Hope so. Hopefully he just comes back the same player he was after his injury. I don't know. It's a long time out, isn't it? So
it is, and that's the thing that people have got to remember. It's not the fact that he is going to come back as exactly the same player. He's going to have to take time to get up to match fitness and get his, eye in and all that kind of stuff again. So it'll just take a bit of time, and hopefully folk will stay off his back.
Can we let a cat out of the bag here?
Feel free.
Okay.
Extra content.
Extra content, yeah. So if you're listening to this will probably be released beforehand, but Corbett and I will be I say Corbett and I'll be sitting in the background recording it all, but Corbett will be interviewing Boise, and we've got that scheduled for tomorrow night. So we'll release that most likely after this one. So stay tuned to the feed and also the YouTube channel to see an interview with the man himself. So details TBC, and it will be released on Twitter, I suppose, when Corbett deems necessary. But yeah, we've got an interview with the big man tomorrow, so looking forward to that.
Could we maybe call that a Christmas cracker?
Fucking hell, man! That's 2 shit dad jokes, one each, man. Right? Is this a competition now?
Aye, you got up your game.
Fucking no, I don't know any shit dad jokes, but anyway, right, moving on.
I just wanted to also add it's also evident when Boyce went out the team, like Mackay's form dropped, a few others have also went the same way, but shows how much he brings in terms of energy up that last 4 days. So hopefully he comes back with that same sort of energy and fitness and just generally being a pest to defenders, to be fair. Next, we have the Japanese Mbappe. Anyone want to talk about what's his name? Yutaro Oda?
I'm gonna have to plead ignorance on this one, right? So I only heard seen in one of the group chat messages the other day. I didn't have my finger on the pulse when it came to this. I thought, right, we were talking about. Remember that they go back to the start of the season. We'd agreed to sign a guy on a pre-contract from like Far East or whatever. It's obviously not the same guy, and this is another guy that's lined up. Number one, what happened to the original guy? And sorry if you've covered this on previous pods, but I've not listened to fucking any of them. Right? Okay, well that's fine. Forget number one. Straightforward. Number two, I know nothing. Absolutely nothing about him. I am going to roll the dice here and say it will be shite. I don't know why. It's just my default position on any new player we sign. It's a bit like when you meet someone new for the first time, they're automatically a wanker until they prove themselves. And this is going to be one of those guys. I'm not pinning any sort of hope on it at all until I see him bang. I'm not going to set up my challenge now because it's not even signed yet. But I'm not filled with confidence or hope.
It's the absolute most Hearts fan reaction to getting linked to a player ever, though, isn't it? Is there any player that you get like resounding, "Oh, we'll take him," like type thing? Because it's always the same. You see it on Twitter the other day. Everyone was writing him off already, and you're just like, let's just give the boy a chance. We'll see how he gets on. He's 21-year-old. He's played a handful of games. Under 21 for Japan.
I don't know if it's just because I've been burned with following Hearts so long, right? How many players have we signed that have turned out to be absolutely utter dog meat, and that we've papped off, loaned out, got rid of, whatever, right? And how many of them, hand on heart, can you actually say, fucking hell, man, they were good. We actually made a good signing. Now, I know recent times have proven that is the case, but you still have to offset that with the fact that I've got nearly fucking 2.5 decades of us buying absolute utter jobby players who have just failed to wow me. So, like, I'm happy to be proved wrong, and I'll be the first one to admit I was wrong, a la Boyce situation, but it's
Shankland.
Aye, aye, all right. Fair. I was hoping you wouldn't bring that up. Fuck you. But aye, but I stand by both of them though. But anyway, that's a rant for another day. But yeah, I'm not pinning any hopes on it. Sorry, Kev, over you.
No, I was just going to say you're right, Ando. The time that you were given a rant towards both Shankland and towards Boyce was at a time when they actually hadn't hit the ground running and they weren't actually performing the way we expected them to perform. So I understand where you come from.
Thank you. Vindication.
In regards to Yutaro Oda, I wholeheartedly agree and stand by Ando again, twice in the space of 3 minutes. Any time that anybody is classed as the Japanese Mbappe or the whatever Mexican Messi or any of these kind of pishy phrases that come out in the press tend to mean they are not anywhere close to being the player in the in said headline of news. And I will be standing by Ando on that one. I was just having a look. He's not yet played a full 90 minutes.
Good. Whatever. Or
well, in the last...
Wait, in what frame?
So in the last 10 games, that he has been involved in, he has not played 90 minutes. The last time he played 90 minutes was back on the 13th of July for Kobe versus Kashiwa, and didn't score.
It was a good game, that, though, by the way.
Great. I'm glad you've got background in regards to Japanese football. So when he does sign, we'll go to you for a particular feature, Tam. Yeah, spin on that
cool.
one. Since the 18th of August, he has scored twice. So it's not exactly looking like he's a proven goal scorer. But hey, let's give him a chance.
I love the whole jazz hands thing there, and I appreciate that will work well for the YouTube viewers. Apologies if you're listening in podcast world, but Kev went full jazz hands there. It's quite a sight to behold. Also, Kev, I'm getting a little bit upset not upset, but nervy about why you're agreeing with me so much. This is unlike you, and I don't know. What's the matter with you?
I think it's because you've not seen each other in about 6 weeks. There
is that. There's also the fact that I got some bad news on Saturday at the Hearts game at Ando. So much so that I might actually have to move my seat. Wait
a minute. Is it because Shanks and his mum and dad are renewing next year?
No, not at all. I found out that Shanks, fellow podcaster, is deaf in one ear and you're deaf in the other ear. So I need to try and work out if I can sit in the middle of yous and neither of yous can actually hear a single word I'm saying.
I meant to speak. Well, no, you sit on my right hand side, Kev. That's my good ear. My deaf ear is the side Shanks sits on. And actually, I was going to speak about this in the pre-show, but Shanks having a wee bit of a medical drama. It's definitely related to sitting next to me shouting obscenities at referees, Hearts players, Robbie Nielsen, whoever. So we're probably all going to have to move seats just so we don't end up fucking mortally winded.
Well, there is that. I was actually congratulated on Saturday that within the first 1 minute and 49 seconds, I hurled abuse at Willie Collum. And the boy that sits behind me at Tynecastle turned around and says that's the longest I've ever went with it before actually hurling abuse at Willie Collum, which I think is good.
To be fair,
moving in the right direction, guys.
I don't know if that boy listens to you, but he's a bit of a weirdo, isn't he? He's a total weirdo. And see if he does listen. Sorry, mate, I don't know your name. Tap me on the shoulder and call me a wanker and I'll fight you. It's fine. But yeah, he's totally weird. Why is he keeping count of the amount of times that you swear at referees? Well, anyway, I'll ask him next time I see him.
Yes, definitely.
And remind me. Only joking. I'm not going after listeners here. That's absolutely crap. So I am just joking, mate.
What I was going to add back to Yutaro Odo, just to go back, but Hearts will be so glad we've got a Japanese website. That's the only reason we're signing, eh? Mind me released that when Machino signed.
Oh God, aye. Is that still a thing?
I don't know. I don't know if the URL's even active, but you never know. Moneymaker, that's what it is. That's what we're going for.
There you go, Tam. You've got a wee bit of homework to do to find out if that Japanese URL is still working, mate.
I need to brush up on my Japanese, to be honest. But
Machino was the first Japanese player I think that we probably ever had, and this will be the second. So again, Machino, I think he scored a wonder goal against. I want to say it was Rangers, but I don't know if that's right.
No,
Is it?
It was one of them, wasn't it?
He scored a fucking beauty against Rangers, I'm sure.
It was another one that was at the 2-2 game, and Big Uchi made an absolute James of it. I didn't use the word, by the way. Uchi made a mess of it, and McGregor was lying on the flare. Aye. But the goal that I think you're talking about was a goal against Aberdeen. He scored an absolute peach against them.
I feel like for a long way out, right high over the keeper, just tucked under the bar.
Yeah.
Well, obviously I drink quite heavily. I could easily get teams confused, but it's I remember it being Rangers. But anyway, let's see if he scores a goal like that in his first game, then I'll buy a shirt with his name on it. So
wouldn't it cost much if it's just ODA as well? So you're all right.
Nice one.
We want to talk about the World Cup final. Anything to say?
It was a good final. There we go. Let's move on.
Yep.
Okay, right. So I don't put the brakes on a minute here. I'm not going to get all lovey-dovey when it comes to international football because I can't stand international football. But I don't actually mind, and I know it's a contradiction. I don't mind watching the World Cup. So I'll be honest, I did watch every England game, and I watched some of the big ones, but I didn't think it was that bad, to be fair. Did watch the final. It was boring for 60 minutes and then just became quite decent, but probably all we need to say, I suppose. But Tam, when does Scotland next play? Must be coming up soon.
Honestly, I actually have no idea. I think there's a game against Turkey or something. No, we played Turkey. No idea.
That's enough of that, right? Okay, enough international
cool.
chat. Move on.
Right, tell us your news, Ando. Man off the website, Predictor.
Oh yeah, okay. So there's been a couple of inquiries on Twitter, and we had an email from one or two folk as well asking about what's happening with the Predictor. Long story short, we had to move our web address from one place to another, and as such had to decommission the old Predictor. We will be restarting a new one, and we can't just lift and shift the details because of these days of internet security. For anybody that plays it, it'd be a violation. So we are setting up a brand new one. There'll be the traditional free league, which we are all used to playing, but then there'll also be an option for a paid league. So anyone that wants to get involved, we'll set the price. I think it was £5 we'd agreed on. So you go onto the website, you register like you did beforehand, go into the shop, buy the paid league entry. It will cost you £5 and you'll be able to pay by PayPal or credit, debit card, whatever. Then we'll hold the money, and then at the end of the season, whoever wins the league, the top place will get 75% of the pot, second place will get 20%, and then third place will get 5%. So again, non-obligation. You can continue to play the free one with no issues, but for anyone that wants to spice it up a wee bit and put your money where your mouth is, then you can enter the paid Predictor for £5. There'll be more details come out on Twitter once I've built it all. It's about 80% done. Not going to be ready in time for this weekend's fixture, but it will definitely be ready for the game following that. So pay attention to the social media, and you'll see all the details as and when.
And I'll see you on the free league because, as you know, I'm pretty tight. So.
Tighter than a duck's arse, yeah.
Right, Ando. The moment I've been waiting for is to try and beat Kev in a quiz.
Right. Well, okay. So, welcome to Ando's big fat quiz of 2022. So, excuse me, how rude. So this, we're hoping to have more people on. So, unfortunately, obviously, Brad's and Corbett can't be with us tonight. So, I've got how many have I got? I think I've got about 8 or 9 questions, and they all relate to Hearts events over 2022. So they're not multiple choice. The idea was going to be that I would throw it out to you. You would all come up with your answer, and whoever came closest or got it right would get a point. So probably just continue on that way. All right. So I'll go and ask both of you what your answers are. If you're closest to the pin, you'll win. And then if you don't, then you get fuck all. Simple as that. All right. So then we'll go in order of. You know what, Tam? I'll give you a break. You can go first. All right. Happy with that?
Fine.
Right. Okay.
After
Right.
my performance in the World Cup quiz, I'm going for it. I'm
Fair
ready.
enough. Right. Question number 1. Top goal scorer so far in 22 is Lawrence Shankland with 12. But who is the second top goal scorer?
Is it just to clarify? Sorry, when you say 2022,
That's the
it's
calendar
the season,
year.
Calendar
The
year.
calendar year of 2022. That's what makes it a little bit more interesting, because we all know Shankland is the top goal scorer this season. But
Yep.
has there anybody that scored this season and the tail end of last that is potentially beating him? So, no, in fact, that's not the question. It's just who is second top over the year.
I am going to go rogue here. I'm going to
Okay.
go rogue.
Right.
Ellis Sims.
Ellis Sims. Okay, that's an answer. Kev.
I'm going to go Andy Halliday.
Okay, that's
Shit.
fine.
That was my other option.
I'm going to give you the answers. I'll give you the answers at the end. All right. Question 2. What is Robbie Nielsen's win percentage in 2022? And closest to the pin will win this one.
Struggled the tail ends. I reckon about 38%.
About 38%. Okay, cool. And Kevin.
I'll go 53.
53. All right, nice one. We'll come back to that at the end. Who is the team in 2022 that has scored the most goals against us? Dead air is a
Celtic.
crime, Tam.
Celtic.
It's Celtic, okay. And Kev?
Rangers.
All right, next question. Who is the team that scored the most? Who is the team that we have scored the most against? Right, so there's 2 tied equal. So you, if you get any one of them, then that's fine.
Dundee United.
Okay, and Kev?
Yeah, that's what I was going to go with. But just to make it, different, I'll go Hibs.
Okay, right, you're going to go for Hibs. Fair enough. Next question is, who has scored the fastest goal of the season, and in what minute did it happen? So the season, not this season, the year. Who has scored the fastest goal this year?
I'm going to go Shankland.
Okay.
And 2 minutes against Dundee United, was it?
Okay. And Kev?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree.
All right, cool. So you get a point. If you've got them both right, then you get 2 points. Right. Tam, how many goals have Hearts scored in 2022? Closest to the pin will win.
League or League and Cup?
All
and
goals.
Like Europa, whole goals.
All goals.
But not including. I'm guessing you're not including friendlies.
Absolutely not. Friendlies don't matter.
That's fine.
56.
56. All right. And Kev?
61.
61. All right. Conversely, how many goals have we conceded in 2022? Closest to the pin wins.
Europe was a lot.
That was a few you like.
82.
82. All right, Kev?
84.
84. Yeah, horrible bastard.
If it's 83,
if it's 83, you're going to have to go and joust against each other or something. Right. Next question. What player has scored the most goals against us in 2022? As individual player for an opposition team.
Morelos.
All right, Kev. You could pick the same answer, by the way. You'd have to choose something different.
I know, but I think Morelos he's scored 2. Just try to work out if MD scored more than that. Nah, I'll go Morelos as well.
Right, okay. The next question. The most player with the most appearances in 2022 is Craig Gordon. But who is the second most used player? And that's in the starting 11.
2022. He's been out.
Oh, this
Cochrane.
Cochrane. I was going to say all this dead air is going to get cut, Tam, but never mind. Next one, Kev.
I'll go Barry Mackay.
Barry Mackay.
Oh,
Okay.
Good shout.
Right, here's maybe an awkward one. Who has come off the bench and scored the most goals in 2022? Tam.
Josh Ginnelly.
Josh Ginnelly. All right. And Kev.
Natty Atkinson.
Okay, Natty Atkinson. And finally, final question. Who has the most assists in 2022? Tam.
I know who the leading are this season, but one of them's only been at the club for less than 6 months, so that's not going to work. I reckon it's Boyce.
Right, Boyce. Okay. Kev.
I'll go Barry Mackay.
Fuck. Why do I keep forgetting Barry Mackay, man? What's wrong with me?
Maybe it's because he's wee.
He's been missing for the last 4 months, to be fair, but
Fair enough. All right. Okay. Cool. So interesting. So we'll run down the answers and then I'll tell you your scores. So, top goal scorer in 2022 is Lawrence Shankland with 12. The second top player is Andy Halliday on 8. So Kev, you win the points there. Following behind Andy Halliday is Sims on 7, and then Boyce and Gino both equal on 6. So this is I was shocked when I seen the answer to this one, right? But shocked, but not ultimately not surprised. So, what is Robbie Nielsen's win percentage in 2022? Right, and the answer is it's 30.4%. So Tam, you get the points for that. That is actually his worst in a calendar year. Right, so his best was in 2020. He had a win rate of 78%. So basically we're losing 2 in every 3 games this year, which is a bit shit, but anyway, we're all aware of that. The team that has scored the most against us is Rangers with 15 goals, and then Celtic second on 12. And just to put that into perspective, Hibs have only scored against us 3 times in 2022. The fastest goal of the season, you both got that. The team most scored against us. You could have had either Motherwell or Dundee United, both on 9 goals. So Tam, you get a point for that. Hibs have scored 6 against us. We've scored 6 against Hibs. I should have written this out better. And to put that into perspective, we've scored 6 goals in total against the Old Firm in 2022, which is absolutely pathetic. The next one you've both got right. Fastest goal, Shankland versus Dundee United in a minute. So 2 points there. How many goals we've scored in 2022? The answer is 67. So Kev gets the point there. Well done, Kev. And goals conceded in 2022 is 75. So
yes.
Tam, you get the point there. The player that scored most against us is Alfredo Morelos with 3 goals. So you both get a point there. The most appearances outside Craig Gordon is Barry Mackay with 41. So Kev, you get the point. And who has come off the bench and scored most? None of you's got this. The answer is Lawrence Shankland. He scored 4 goals from the bench. Ellis
Sims. A hat-trick.
Ellis Sims has scored 2. And the most assists is Barry Mackay with 6. So that puts the final scores at Tam with a solid 6. It's more than I thought you'd get. But Kev IN, you win with a massive 8. So there you go. That's it. That's your big fat 2022 quiz.
Well done, Ando. Well done, Tam, for getting 6. Even
Yeah.
that probably was more than you expected.
Patronising, okay.
No,
See,
I'm not patronising, mate.
if I'd spent a bit more time writing this out properly, I wouldn't have got confused reading this, because it's all just is written in bloody pidgin English, because I done it pretty quick. But aye, well done for playing, boys, and everybody else can just sod off, because they're not here to take part.
Correct.
We're the real winners here. That's what I'm saying.
Well, the way you got to look at
Alright
it, Tam, is you finished in 2nd place. You know, out of really, there's what, 6 years on this podcast. Less Ando, of course, for hosting said quiz. So you were 2nd out of 5. Well played, mate.
Class.
Take
First,
that.
last. That's it. Class. So, weekend. Hearts free. Kilmarnock 1. Back to Tynecastle. We'll just do a run through the game as we usually do. But what do you think? Start of the game. Good to see Halkett Kingsley back. What do you think of the lineup? Back to the 3-4-3. I didn't actually think it was the 3-4-3 when I first looked at it. I was surprised we're playing 3 left backs, but that's the way we go. But what do you think of the lineup when you seen it?
When I looked at it when it came through, I was in the boozer, and one of the guys that I had a couple of beers with before the game both looked at it and went, for all that it was put out as 3-4-3 on a number of different websites and everyone else, it was really a back 4. In my opinion, I didn't see it as a 3, because Mikey Smith's, he always falls back into that position now. I think we've mentioned it a few times, and the fact that he's maybe not as free running moving forward as he once was. But I must admit, I thought the team that we put out there on Saturday afternoon was good enough to win probably any game, as long as they have a bit of belief anyway, and that includes games, especially games at home against both Celtic and Rangers. I think there was I thought it was a strong team. Good to see guys like Snodgrass being back at it again after a number of weeks out, and Shanklin looked lively again. So yeah, it was all good from my point of view.
Yeah, I bet when we all looked at the team though, we weren't thinking Shanklin would be on the right and Ginnelly in the middle. But I tell you what, it worked perfectly, because Kelly couldn't handle Ginnelly's pace through the middle, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Defensively, they were shocking anyway.
Yeah.
They were poor. They were as poor defensively for the first half, or the first probably 50 minutes of the game, as we were for the free kick in which they scored.
Fair. And any thoughts on the team? Did you know Shanklin was out right, actually, to be fair?
No, mate.
I know you were occupied, but
I wasn't at the game. I've not had the chance to watch the full game back, and all I've seen is the goals. So I'm not going to be able to offer much in that sense. I couldn't even tell you what the starting 11 was. So apologies for not being able to contribute. But whatever Kev said.
To be fair, Kev, I know you were saying about Smith there, but I thought he actually played pretty decent on Saturday. Like he was very attacking, which
he did. He did, but that was because Kilmarnock had nothing up against him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I mean, I'm not being disrespectful to Kelly, in all honesty there, but they didn't have anything. There was nothing going down that channel, so he had the freedom of that whole right hand side, and he in all honesty, he probably should have scored on Saturday. He missed a. Yeah. I wouldn't want to say it was a sitter, but I was like where Ando and I sit. We were like we would have been right behind it, and you could see there was a wide gaping hole in the goals that he could have just quite easily slipped it in there, but screwed his shot wide. But yeah, you're right. He did play well on Saturday, but I think if he came up with somebody, or came up against somebody that had a wee bit of guile about him, a wee bit of pace about him, then that's when Mikey Smith gets a wee bit defensive minded, and he sits further back, because he doesn't have that ton of pace as he once had.
Yeah, fair. No, to be honest, I wanted to talk about it. Like you were saying about defensively, how bad Kilmarnock were, but we started great as well. Like I thought, it didn't look like we hadn't played a competitive game in a month, and like we just started with pace. A lot of the times we've criticised the team for being slow at the start and stuff like that, but I thought on Saturday we started and we controlled the first half. But even like Gino, the way he took that goal, like brilliant. I wanted to touch on him a bit more as well. Like
you wanted to touch him a bit more.
touch on him a bit more.
All right, sorry, mate. You
but
must have just broken up there.
I wouldn't
Totally
mind touching on Mike,
understandable,
but it's fine. No, but tell you what, he's forming before the break and then continuing on Saturday. He's been up there. What's your thoughts? Is he droppable now, or does he start the game?
Again, I didn't want to take main focus here, but I'm going to go back to another Ando phrase. Jesus Christ, what the hell is going on with this show tonight?
Kev, are me and you going out now or something? Fucking going out. What's happening, sorry?
It goes back to that. It goes back to Ando's phrase of you don't change a winning team. So why would you want to drop him? You know, from the point of view of the way in which he is playing, which is positive. It's what we see. You know, for a long time, it was you'd see that that play from Giannelli once in every 4 games. We're now starting to see it consistently. He's getting a run in the team, which is great to see. And as long as he continues to actually play like that, then who's going to come off the bench and take that position off him? Because Ewan Henderson isn't going to do that. You know, GMS. Well, I think he's still. I was going to say something that I shouldn't have maybe said, so I'll leave that there. But GMS has gone missing. I don't know what his injury is nowadays. You know, from a forward line, Humphreys.
It's a foot injury, mate.
Is it?
So yeah, I seen it on it's on the. It was, I think it was on live scores or flash scores or whatever it says. It was out with a foot injury. So
yeah, and Humphreys has disappeared again. We don't know what's happened to him. He was taken off after at the Celtic game, and hasn't been seen since. Even although he was told that it was only going to be a couple of weeks out. Well, that was nearly 2 months ago. So, these are the kind of things that you look at and you go, well, who is going to take Giannelli's position? So, at the moment, I don't see any reason why you would drop him.
Nah, I completely agree. I think it provides something a wee bit different if you do need that sort of pace through the middle as well. And I thought Shankland linked well as well, playing out of position. So, it was good to see on Saturday as well. And then, obviously, Shankland's second goal, we obviously hammered them, had plenty of chances, options, and then the freest of free headers. It's like we were watching Hearts defend for Shankland's first goal, where he's ball into the back post and Shankland was free to nod it in the back of the net. But as I say, it was like watching Hearts defend, but took it well there. Second half, do we want to talk about what happened there? Did we stop playing? Did they change?
I think there's if you look at the way in which Kilmarnock came out, they changed the way in which they wanted to play, and we just took a little bit of time to actually get that back in, or get ourselves back into a way where we were dominating the actual game. The biggest issue from my point of view was that Kilmarnock had three free kicks. The first free kick, the boy was offside. The second free kick, he should have scored, and the third free kick, he did. But we didn't learn. And and it's not just that one game. How many times have we seen that this season? The ball up and over the top, and either A, we don't track the run, or B, we just don't know who's actually behind us, and we just freeze. We're usually all over the place. That's a worry to me, if being honest. You come up against better teams, and we've seen that in the European games. That ball up and over the top can really have a massive impact on us as a team.
Well, I think obviously with Rowell's coming back on Saturday, Halkett obviously just getting back to playing properly. Same with Kingsley. Hopefully it'll improve, because we didn't see that last season. So I don't know realistically what has changed except the injuries, to be honest with you. There. What else? Second half. I was going to say I really like that partnership with Devlin and Snodgrass. I think that works well together in terms of Devlin doing the dirty work, Snodgrass just running out of things to say about him. He's just class, isn't he? It's a different level of player for what we've got in that position. He's always looking for the forward pass. He's harrying the rest of the players. Don't know what else to say, really. I
think you're right. I think again, what you've seen is that with Snodgrass, he didn't have a club for a good 3 or 4 months. No pre-season. He even came out and said it himself when he signed after like 2 or 3 weeks that he was finding it difficult because we weren't, and we spoke about it on the podcast before. We weren't doing training really on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, shape on a Thursday, bit of training or light training and shape on a Friday, then the game on the Saturday because of the European commitments. So from that point of view, he wasn't getting a real proper run at training. We were using him in some, I think there were some bounce games and things like that. And then he was getting his game on a Sunday. I think what we've seen now is that Snodgrass is up to pace. He's starting to get himself a lot fitter. He's getting involved in the play a lot more. He's pushing and pressing, especially sort of back lines, which is great to see. And you're right. We've got Rowles you would expect would come back into the team on Saturday against Dundee United. But who drops? Who drops out to give you a bit of a greater balance? Do you say that Halliday drops so that you can get Cochrane in at the left?
I think that would be the one, which is ridiculous to say because Halliday's been class this season, to be honest. But it's one of those things that you play your strongest 11, don't you? And
it's a good problem to have as well. So, like, how many, if you track back to the European campaign, we were struggling. I know it's different because you're particularly talking about Snodgrass, who obviously wasn't available. But it's a good problem to have. But I always go with the methodology of don't change your winning teams. Kev's already said. Just as a sidebar on the Snodgrass thing, how long do we actually have him for? Have we only got him till the end of this season?
I think you're probably right. I would have to check, but I think it was only a year. There might be an option or another written in, but that wasn't discussed. You never know.
Right, okay, cool. I was just curious if anyone, Brad's transfer market, Brad's would be able to tell us if he was
he'll set up. Then obviously Kev's discussed the goal, but classic Hearts goal to lose again. Free kick in, nobody coming out to it, lost it. I thought we were that was one of those ones where you could see the game going either way after they scored that goal. And I think the changes Robbie made actually did help, and I thought Keogh and Grant coming into centre back brought a bit of extra legs, and it did help, to be fair. I know you're not a big fan of Keogh, Kev, but I thought he was actually a wee bit better than what we have seen, and maybe the wee break and a bit of a pre-season type thing in Spain might have helped there. You never know. Nope, disagree. Cool.
six touches of the ball he had. Six touches
in 11 minutes or 11 plus.
I think he was on the park for 15 minutes and he had 6 touches of the ball. And one of those occasions was a touch, another touch, and then a pass backwards.
I'm glad you counted that well.
When I seen it on some website that was telling you how many touches and how many passes and everything else that the team had, and it broke it
bollocks, man. The boy that sits behind you at Tynecastle told you that, didn't he?
Correct. It was actually. I'll hand out. Just to go back, he is under contract only until 2023. But I would hope that Savage and Nielsen have maybe sat down with him and say, look, there's an extension there for an extra year. He is 35 now, I think. So, he's made a decision to move back up the road and come back to Scotland. So, I would expect, or I don't know, maybe he doesn't, maybe he does. I would expect him to be looking to move back down south again. I don't know.
No, I don't think so. He's like a lot of his extended family are up here because his auntie used to be my boss way back in the day, and I think he's originally from. He's got a lot of. I don't know if he's originally from, but he's got a lot of family in and around the east and west coast of Scotland. So, it's one of these ones. Money talks, though, doesn't it? It's like if he gets a game of Hearts, and he is doing, he puts himself in the shop window, there's every opportunity that someone will take a punt on him. But you also have to consider that, is he maybe hitting his ceiling at the age of 35? Is he likely to get a bigger club than us? Probably not. And if we can cement third place, then that's probably going to be enough, I think, to probably get him a year extension or an 18 months or whatever. I think he's probably hitting the peak of his career, given the fact he's an outfield player. Obviously, we've still got Gordon, who'll be 40 next week, or in a fortnight's time. That completely different kettle of fish. But I think if he plays well, I'd offer him a new deal. I don't give a fuck about his age, as long as he's providing an output. Then I'll take that all day long.
To be honest, man, like when you look at how he plays, and from what you hear about, well, I heard Halliday speak about on Open Goal. Like, apparently he brings a lot to the dressing room. Like, he's constantly helping the boys through games. You can see that when you're watching it. It's like when Nazy was there, Hearts could go and offer a contract position, coaching position in the future if he's wanted getting in that route. But to me, it looks like that's what he's kind of doing as well on the pitch, which is great.
Aye. And to somebody's point that they made earlier, you can't hide class. It's like you made the point of, like, obviously he's been down south for a lot of his career, performing at a high level, like, and even like you can't hide that. When you bring that back up the road, it just makes some of the other like maybe long-standing players in the Scottish game that have never been down there and come back up, just makes them look amateur by comparison. So
100%. Where did we even get to in the game? Penalty, Shankland.
Never.
Nah.
Never a penalty. I know there was an argument on. There was a bit of not an argument, a debate on Sports Scene on Saturday night between Mikey Stewart and I can't remember the guy's name.
Whoever's up against
Ricky Foster.
Ricky Foster. And I get where the two of them were coming from. But the way I always look upon these kind of decisions, and this is any decision really at the end of the day, if that had been against Hearts, what would your thoughts be? You'd be like, that's harsh. You would be absolutely raging if that had been given against us. And, you know, and Shankland's been clever. He's been quite cute with what he does. He just puts his body in. That puts the other boy's body out of shape. He can't get to the ball properly. His hands up in the air. And I get that the whole argument of he's making his body bigger, the ball can't then travel past him because it hits his arm and everything else. So that's why he's been, or that's why he's conceded the actual penalty kick. But I do think it was a bit harsh.
Totally agree. It's not often I agree with Kev, as we know, but apparently it seems to be a running theme tonight. I totally agree.
It's not often you agree with Mikey Stewart, to be fair. That's probably more of a surprise.
Well, actually, I find myself, I don't know why this is, I find myself agreeing with Mikey Stewart more often than I don't. When it comes to his stuff, it's like if you say what you want about Mikey Stewart, ultimately I have a difficulty actually calling him out for being wrong. He normally does get it right.
It sounds like there could be a budding bromance.
But between me and you, or me and Mikey Stewart?
Whoever. Could be a threesome, Ando.
Wow.
Fucking hell, right, okay, so you get two potential show names there, Bromance or threesome.
Which...
Right. Fucking hell, man, bring Corbett back. This is crap.
I didn't even say a word there.
Right. Cam, the only reason, everybody knows I go after you, and a wee peek behind the curtain. It's all for banter. I really love Tam, right from the bottom of his boots to the top of his head. But
not very much.
That's not a lot. But I'm not going after you today because you're in the hot seat. So, but next week,
Fair.
Normal service will be resumed.
Right, Ando.
Yes.
What was it? Your prediction? Not your prediction. Your challenge for Shankland was 6-12, was it?
It was.
So what is he now? 14 and 20 something, 25, I think it is.
Mate, we've covered this absolutely when he battered my target. That's the reason.
I know you love him now. I know you love him.
Yes. Right.
I don't want to touch on the question that shouldn't be said, but because he'll probably get injured on Saturday. But first 20 goal season striker.
100%. I think he'll do it.
Since Robbo, anyway.
And I have a bet on with a common bookmaker to that effect. So if that does happen, for it to pay out, obviously I need 21 goals. So if he gets the 21 goals, I stand to make a fair few quid out of it. So I am 100% behind them. And I put that bet on
just
at the
league
start
goals,
of the season.
Is that all comps?
What's that?
Is your bet league or all
league
comps?
goals. League goals.
Right. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So
fair. What's he in the league?
And you put that on at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, I did, mate. Yeah.
So did you put that on at the beginning of the season just in case any particular forfeit was going to cost you?
Yes.
Substantial cash. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Like the way you've balanced that out, mate.
However, the forfeit that's already in play, which everyone seems to have forgotten about, is the fact that there is a Hibs jersey in a bin out in the back garden, because obviously I would never let it in the house. but it's been delivered for my forfeit challenge. So, but you all seem to have
Just
forgotten
lucky
about that. So
there's a derby coming up
Oh,
on
no.
the 2nd of January. That's
don't you ever fucking think about it. There's no way I'm walking in Easter Road with a Hibs jersey on my back. I get murdered.
the 2nd's at Tynecastle. That's it.
Equally, I'd get murdered. It's not going to happen. So just fucking shove that up your ass. That's not happening. But,
Is that the real reason that Corbett hasn't actually on tonight? Is because he's out in the back garden spray painting on a big cardboard box that you want Shanklin shut?
potentially, definitely, actually.
Go.
Cool. Aye, so Hearts back to winning ways. Aberdeen slipped up. Livy were called off. Twice, true. So 1 point behind third before the end of the year. Could be third by Saturday, depending on results.
What happened to Livy tonight? They were playing Celtic.
2-1
Got beat
Celtic.
2-1. Oh, okay, fair enough.
So they're a point behind us to stay, I think.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep. And Aberdeen play St Mirren on Saturday lunchtime.
Right.
So from that point of view, I mean, St Mirren's actually an easy ground to go to. Their home form isn't actually that bad now.
Come on, the buddies.
And
So-
Aberdeen's away form is terrible. So
Well, that's exactly the thing. You know, so you could actually find that Aberdeen 2 games more played than us by kickoff on Saturday afternoon and only a point ahead of us. So there's, you know, the only issue with that is I think that if St Mirren were to win, then they would come level on points with us, with the same amount of games played.
to be fair, at this stage of the season and the way we've started, we just need to concentrate on winning games, don't we? Realistically.
If we take care of our own games, then from that point of view, we don't have to worry about anybody else.
Right, this is the thing, is that we now don't have the distraction of Europe. I'll be honest, I think we're going to get players back. Obviously, you've got Boyce still to return. I don't know what the sketch is with Beningame. I think he was out for 7 months, and it's now been, I think, 7 years since he's been injured. But one of those things is like I don't see any problems for us for the run-in. And I've probably just jinxed the entire fucking season by saying that.
That's we've just said Shanklin's going to score 21 goals and we're going to be all right for the running. So he's out on Saturday, then,
Yeah, probably. Oh my fucking shit! Why did I open my big fucking stupid mouth?
Right, anything to add on the Kelly game, or will we just go Dundee United Christmas Eve?
Move on.
Cool.
Yep, move on.
So, don't know if you've seen this or thought about it, but Robbie says we're sticking with the 3-4-3. Halkett's going to be right off the back three. Thoughts on that setting up? Obviously, we changed it to the 4-2-3-1 and it seemed to be working for a while. Towards the end of last season, was it? Boys dropped into 10, Sims played striker, but I think we'll look a better team 3-4-3 at the moment, personally, but what's your thoughts?
I would say if there's a game to well, not even really give it an acid test, but then I'm fine with them doing that against Dundee United. I don't see any threat. And while I don't know the Dundee United team inside now, on paper we should absolutely pound them into submission. So I'll be honest, I don't think the shape is. Yes, of course it matters, but I don't think it matters too much given the caliber of the opposition. I think the whole shape and formation argument maybe comes into play when you're playing an equal or better team. I think we'll have more than enough to make it work, no matter, even if we played backwards against Dundee United.
100%. No, I agree with that. So how do you line up? I know you said don't change the winning team, but do you change it in for Saturday?
No, don't change the winning team. Simple as that.
Just only what I said earlier on. I think there is a chance that you bring Rowles back into the squad for Saturday, which might have an impact in regards to, or how that left-hand side works. I don't believe there's anybody on the left-hand side that really deserves to be dropped, if you know what I mean. But again, you go back to that element of, you know, you want to play your strongest 11. For all that 11 that played on Saturday looked, you know, fairly solid. But again, we go back to that defensive element, you know. So I think we could probably see Rowles come in with Halkett, Rowles, and Kingsley as a back three, and you might find somebody like Smith drops to bring in Atkinson and Cochrane as sort of wing backs. But again, like Andrew's just said, you're thinking you're playing against Dundee United who've bad spell. I think they're 1 win in 7 or something like that. You'd be thinking, well, you want to go out and want to go and attack them and put them under pressure and challenge them and ideally come away from Tannadice on Saturday with 3 points. And as you say, that's third place for the end of the year.
I think it's probably a good thing as well that their game got called off at the weekend. I think it's another week off. It could be a bad thing as well. I've just jinxed myself and changed my mind there. But I think if we go straight away and start for the very start and go for it, nothing to lose, as you say. To be honest, Kev, I agree with you. I would keep the other 11 the same, except shuffle Cochrane along. Hardy rolls in, to be honest. The man's played at the highest level at the World Cup, so I think you need to start him.
100%.
Yeah.
Plus, if we're putting him in the shop window for the idea of getting mega bucks for him, you need to play him every time.
Yeah, but is that
right?
We're gonna give predictions.
That's what I was just about to say.
Oh,
you beat me to it, so you can
go
for it. Go for it,
okay.
sir.
Dundee United 0, Hearts 3. I'm going for a big score.
Fair. Kev?
I'll ask Santa for a 2-0 away victory. Take back down the road with 3 points.
I'm thinking we will win. Let's say 2-1 because we'll lose a goal, which is a cross into the back post that somebody headers into the back of the net. Because that'll happen. That always happens. So let's just go with that. So 2-1.
Fair enough.
There we go. I think we're nearly. Nope. Kev, sorry. Answers.
Well, I was just going to say, do you want to have a bit of a preview of next Wednesday night against St Johnstone up at McDermott
Totally
Park?
forgot we're playing St Johnstone on Wednesday night.
No, let's not, because we.
We should pod in between then.
Yeah, but bear in mind Sunday is Christmas Day, but we'll probably get.
What are you talking about? I'll see you then.
What's that?
I'll see you then. 9:30 on Sunday night. No.
No, absolutely not. I'll be in a drunken stupor probably.
that might make it one of the best podcasts ever.
Maybe, but I'll be honest, mate. I'm gonna be off work. I'm going to need something to do. There's plenty of football to watch and gamble on the telly, but I'm gonna want to speak to you before Wednesday. So let's try and get another one out there.
Good point.
No worries.
Good point. I agree with you
there. And I'm the same. I'm working all the way through Christmas, so for that point of view, I will need a break from it. So happy to pod next week, whatever's best. So the answers to 4 and 1. The first one was Maple Leaf, FC Cologne, 24 goals and looping header. Ando thinks he's got it. So before we go to you, Ando, do you have it? Do you know who this player is?
Kevin McKenna.
Ando?
I said Kevin McKenna as well, just purely from the Maple Leaf and the 24 goals. I know he scored probably around that amount, but the FC Cologne reference I didn't get.
That's where he is as coach. He's a coach at FC
Cologne.
Okay.
Right, okay.
So he's one of the coaches at FC Cologne, and of course, the looping header, which started the cracking fight back, which then led to Mr. Phil Stamp getting sent off. So yes, well done, guys. Kevin McKenna is your man, and the second.
That's end the podcast. Cheers, Kev.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I've got no idea about that second one. That's
fine. We're going to go to you first. So successful ? Stranraer hat-trick. Viking. £1 million. So Tam, any ideas?
Just going Viking, and I think the man went for some money. Would it be Bjorn Jonsson?
No.
Nope.
Successful ? In answer to your question, yes, I would say is a success.
Okay.
The Stranraer hat-trick, there's only one player that I know of that has scored a Stranraer hat-trick.
Yep.
£1 million. Did we not get more than that? Or was it just $1 million?
Well, that's the thing. We never knew what we got for him, but there was rumour that we did get $1 million for him. So who knows?
There's only one. It's Andreas Velichka.
It is Andreas
Ah.
Slavicka, who actually then went on to Rangers after Viking for, I believe, another £1 million. So, yeah, very, very interesting. Maybe that £1 million went straight into Vlad's back pocket and that helped him buy a submarine. Who knows?
He's still about in his yellow submarine.
Exactly.
Well, I'd like to think it wouldn't be yellow. Hopefully it's a maroon and white submarine, but never mind.
Or maybe just a dark grey so that isn't actually viewable from...
He's a
A
very
bright yellow
wanted
ball
man.
you might find there,
A
yes.
very wanted man.
Certainly is.
Nice one. Well, it's been a pleasure, lads.
Has it? I don't know if it's been a pleasure for the listeners, but I've enjoyed being back here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, congratulations and commiserations and apologies to everybody that listened. Whether you loved it or hate it, didn't matter. Corbett will be back next week, so everything will be good.
Excellent. Cheers, boys. We'll see you. Have a nice Christmas, I suppose, everyone, all our listeners as well. Corbett would never say that. I'm the nice guy.
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't.
Nah,
He'd tell them all to get to fuck and then probably block them all on Twitter. But I suppose farewell, good tidings for the season and all that shit. So we'll see you later.
We'll see you in between, aye.
Right.
Cheers.
Merry Christmas, lads.
Bye bye. Eddie's gonna say it,
Nah.
Nah.
How the fuck no?
Go for it.
Gotta get ill.